Hey everybody, this is Kitty from Kitty's Minis. I'm here with my Elegoo Saturn 4. It's the Ultra 16K. I bought it just about a little over a month ago, and I've already had some major issues with it. And I'm not going to show you like a how-to video because Elegoo has pretty good how-to videos. So the first thing I had to do was to replace this PFA release liner, and you have to unscrew about 1,000 screws to do that. It was pretty easy once you just unscrewed everything. So that was that. And then the second thing, I had a bad fail. Like, I have run this probably over 50, probably about 55, 60 times now and gotten great prints. I love it. And then I realized that the LCD monitor inside actually cracked. So I got, like I said, a really bad fail, and when I looked in here, that this is actually cracked underneath this film right here, and so I'm going to have to replace that. I sent Elegoo a email about a week ago. They created a ticket the next day, which was great, and then I never heard anything back. So actually I went on Amazon, ordered this, got this the next day. It's a replacement LCD panel. The trick is you have to totally disassemble the whole unit. Like, take off the sides, the front, the back, the cover, all the electrical panels for the front monitor, for the front screen, the camera. You have to disassemble the entire machine to replace this. And I have noticed that this is something that's kind of common, that a lot of people have had to do this, and you know, it's kind of discouraging because like that's a lot of work. And I'm not going to show you again a how-to video because Elegoo has it, but I'm going to see how long it takes me to do this. So it is 10:15, and yeah, we'll see how many hours it takes for me to get through this. And I'll probably take some pictures along the way just so you can see the guts of the inside of the Elegoo. And if you're considering buying one, just know that this is something that you're going to have to do. Replacing this film is something you're going to have to do. Replacing this LCD panel is something you're going to have to do. There's just maintenance that goes along with this. So just letting you know. But again, it gets great prints, so it's kind of like you got to weigh your pros and cons. So I'll see you in a bit. So I will show you, this is the panel that I ordered, and it comes packaged like this. So it has the panel, it has the your electronic connectors, the board, and then inside here it has like double-sided tape, because you're gonna have to re-stick all this back down again. So it comes with everything. It comes with some little zip ties, because like I said, you're gonna have to take care of all the electronic parts out and to put all those back together again. So yeah, so that's what comes with it. And one more thing, before I start taking all this apart, I have these little cups because you got like 20 different kinds of screws in here, and each of them go in a different place. And so if you put the screws into different cups and put a little note on it, then when you go back to reassemble, then at least you're gonna have some idea of where they go. So So you had to unplug this for the screen, the leveler, and the camera. So all those had to get disconnected. Okay, so next I gotta take off these screws back here that hold this back plate on. Elegoo provides these little Allen wrenches for the different size screws, and they do provide some extra screws for some of the things, not for this part, but they do for like the tray, the resin tray. They have some, so that's good. This is the camera back here. Honestly, I don't ever use, I mean, it records after, I think it's 50 millimeters of height. I know my stuff is so tiny because I'm doing 1 to 1 inch scale. I mean 1 to 12 inch, 1 to 12 scale things. And so, yeah, it never goes into Can I get this guy? That should come off pretty easy. What am I missing? Should come through there. So I've got these wires here that you have to. Oh, yeah, I missed one. Shoot. And of course they put, let's look, where? At this point, I need somebody helping because all this stuff out. Okay. So that guy is out. Let's set that over here. Alright, so when I said literally having to disassemble the whole thing, I meant it. Okay, so next I have to remove all the screws off this, they call it the middle board, this middle panel here. So yeah, I got a ton here. Let's see if I got the right now for side 2. And you probably hear all the bubbling in the background because those are fish tanks that we have right here too. So one more part off. Alright, we're getting there. Still a few more to go. Got to take this front screen off. Probably a good time to clean it, actually. So literally, we are taking off the entire shell. I mean, like I said, hundreds of screws. Okay, so we got that. Now, I'm gonna actually turn this sucker back up if I can get a hold of it. Oh. Okay. take this panel off, and there's some resin in there. That might take off. Did I miss a screw? Did I miss a screw? Yep. Okay. See? How did I do that? Y'all didn't tell me. One more. Now. Oh. Alright. Breaking off all my electronic parts back there too. Okay. So now we gotta take off. This is the connector here for this. They put tape over the connectors, which is good. Back a little bit, and then this thing is actually working, so I don't want to mess this one up. Come on. Sometimes these connector pins can be a little troublesome. I'll probably have to replace that screen at some point. So there's the connector there, if you couldn't see that. Okay. Ugh, that's nasty. Okay, so we are getting down to it. And just when you thought there weren't any more screws to take out, guess what? We're gonna have to remove the bottom plate now. So you see this leveler right there. This is that parts falling out. I don't know what those are. Let's see. I think those are actually from some of my builds, from some of my print jobs. Stuff goes flying. It's amazing how when you're scraping stuff off the build plate, that little parts just go flying. I was worried because I thought, oh, maybe it's part of my printer, but yeah, that's what that is. You'd think there'd be an easier way, but somebody did show, instead of taking all this apart, that they went from the top and used a phone lens repair kit to get that plate out, but they were using a heat gun, and which is obviously not good for the electronics, but if you know what you're doing, they had done it before, but since this is actually the first time I'm doing this, I didn't want to use the heat gun because I was afraid I was gonna really screw something up. So I'm following what Elegoo says, and this is how they say to do it. So that's what I'm doing. Also, a little hint: I am stacking these, so when I go to put this back together again, this is the order that I'm going to be putting them back together. So just kind of one more way to keep it a little bit more organized. Okay, so put this hot glue everywhere. Obviously, once you get this glue off here the first time, if you have to do this again, you won't have to fight this mess. And the reason they do this is for when they ship it, they don't want the parts to come undone. So I also marked the things I need to do. This is the UV lamp, so I got this just so I know, and when I come back to it, I'll be like, oh yeah, okay. So there's that one. There's some zip ties, so got to cut these zip ties to make sure you don't cut the wire. Got that one. Okay, and then next is the fan. That's this guy. It's a fan. Here's the wire from the fan. It's this guy. Okay. So you can just follow the wires if you don't know. This one's the fan. So again, I got all this done. So it says fan right there. It says fan 1, fan 2. This one only has one fan. The board has room for a second fan if you need it. Alright, so obviously that's my fan. My number one fan. Gosh. So this one. I'm just going to scooch it over here because I want that to mess with it. Okay, and then next we have temperature, which is this one. Okay, so again it's marked on the board just in case you don't know. It is marked. Kind of hard to see down there, but it's there. That's one good thing that they actually marked it. Okay, I think that's all the ones I wanted to do. Next, I'm going to go ahead and lift this guy off. Okay, so hopefully we have everything kind of separated from the bottom, separated from the top. With this. What's hanging on? There we go. Alright. So that part we don't need. Alright. We're getting down to it. Okay, next. You know what? I've been sitting here fighting this thing. Go ahead and put these gloves on because I still got resin yolk. Go ahead. I should have gotten this. This would have made it a whole lot lighter. Y'all didn't tell me that. I should have done that from the beginning. Okay, so I'm just going to set this thing aside. Next is going to be removing the seat. You can see I got some resin, actually more down in there. So I did have a fail, like I said. I've done over 55 or so prints, and I had a kind of major fail. It was these big chunky things that fell off of the plate, and I think that's where things went wrong. It's funny because I created those files. I mean, I don't have anybody to blame but myself, but I sure did not anticipate all of this. Okay, so I have to take this part off here, and to do that, this is the Frenzel lens, if I'm saying that right, but you don't want to touch this, so I'm using these nice little cotton gloves. And we're going to undo this. Just got to be super, super careful with this thing. This is what, with the light passing through it, it's, you mess this up, you might as well just buy a new machine here. So, and actually, there's some extra screw holes here in the lens that don't have screws. So, when you go to put this back, just realize that you're going to have like four empty holes right there. Not sure why that is. Okay. There's the lens. Pretty cool. It has this numbers down here. So those are bottom left like that, taking it out. It's just so you know when you go to put it back. So I'll just do this. Okay, so here is where the 16K and the 12 LCD panel instructions vary. So this part right here has to be replaced, and in the video that they only show replacing this part. So we're going to actually have to take this part out to remove this, and yeah, I didn't find any instructions for that. So I am going to have to disconnect this panel. So I just want to show you in the little here. This is that part right there, and then the strip that connects right there. So yeah, the other connects just in the center and doesn't have this part. So that's the difference. So we've got little zip ties included. Goodness. Okay, there's that. And that. For this piece all here. And so everything's taped in. Okay, so I had to actually use a hammer to hammer the LCD screen out. It was stuck so nice and tight. There is a sensor here that you don't want to mess up. Try not to mess that little guy up. And I'm just going to clean up some of this glue around the sticky tape because I'm going to have to put that back in. Doesn't say which one's top and bottom, and when I took the other one out, I honestly didn't pay attention. Let's see, I think this goes in here. I think it's going to turn this way because saying it's going to go this way because this connector seems like it needs to go in that direction to be able to connect it with the board. So it would go like that. Right. If not, I'll be taking it all apart again, won't I? Alright, we're just going to go for it and assume that this is facing up, only because we got a 50-50 chance here, right? I wish I would say both of these are the same on both, so it's not telling me which one is which. So then I need to connect the hopefully those won't fall out. Break another one. So if not, we'll have another go. I'm going to have to put that sticky tape back on the top. I just want to make sure we're in the right direction. Don't know. Okay, so now I'm just putting the tape back around the sides here, making sure everything is nice and flush and the tape's not going past the screen, it's not interfering with these little sensors there. These are the heat sensors, I believe, well, trade detection sensors, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to make sure this is nice and tight, because if you do drip resin, of course it can get down in here, but at least it's keeping it off this part. So, and this is where that little heat sensor, little other sensor tab is right there. So yeah, make sure that's clean. So I got that. Okay. Now I'm going to flip it over again. I need to get that glass lens back on. So I'm gonna put these back on. I gotta go everything in reverse now. And as we said, these little numbers go in the bottom. So we're gonna flip this guy this right panel on. It has the switches. You want to make sure that this is sticking out the front so it can connect. You gotta screw these in from the bottom, so yeah. I don't want to lay it down on the other side is because it has the switch. I don't want to smash the switch. This guy back. I don't put the tape on now. Okay, so now I'm putting the screws back in what's called the middle board. Look at that. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 screws on the middle board, so yeah. Okay, I am finally getting this back on. Trying to wrap it up here. It's taken way too long. But I had before, I also had a fail where the, well, first of all, it said that the LCD was not being recognized. And then it said that the reservoir, the tank, was not being recognized. So I had 2 failures when I tried to start it up, which, you know, I knew that probably have something that's not going to go right. So yeah, so I realized that I had to take it apart again, and I didn't want to have to show you all of that. But I had the cable for the LCD for the screen. This is the big mono 10-inch screen. I had it backwards, and as soon as I opened up and saw it, I was like, oh crap, yep. And so I was just able to flip that around, and then that worked. And then because I had also changed the screen on the resin tank, which I didn't show that here, I was getting a failure because I didn't clear the little pins, the area where the brass, I guess they're brass, copper, little pins, sensors are. Of course, Why is this not going in now? So yeah, so I cleared that and ran a test again, and it worked. So hopefully once I get all these screws back in, that it's gonna actually work again once I put the resin in it. So yeah, it took me, I'm not even gonna lie, I never stopped to get a drink, to use the bathroom. I just kept on working, and it has taken me, I think it was 10:15 when I started, and it's now 3:30. So yeah, I just killed my whole day doing this. But I'm pretty happy how that I was able to get it to work. And yeah, I'll be doing a test print next, see if it really is working. And I can't get these damn last screws in, of course, the last ones, because now everything is out of sync. I will say I do have one screw left over. Of course, no project is a true project without having one screw left over, right? But the reason I have one screw left over is because I will say the front panel, where that little screen is, the control screen, that little panel, that piece, it's plastic, okay? And so these are all metal. Oh, that's not. This is metal. These are metal. But that front one is plastic, and screwing it in, it's just broke where I was trying to screw it in. And I thought I was being careful, but you know, obviously I was being a little too aggressive with it. I may have cracked it when I was trying to get them out. I don't know. But anyways, so just be careful as you're taking things apart or putting them back together with these screws, that the plastic will crack. But it's not a big deal. I don't think I need it, and I think there's enough. Let's see, the screw won't even go in now. So, it's like, how can everything else go in except for that one? So, yeah. So, I'm pretty excited about it. This is the last screw, and of course the last screw does not want to go in. Screw it, literally. So, yeah. So, we're going to hook it up, plug it in, see what we got. And, this is all still a mess, even though, so I got so much on here, it's pretty nasty. So keep your fingers crossed, let's see what we got. This part always scares me because it takes so long for that screen to show up. Whew. Okay. So, it's sinking. So I did not put the vat in yet. I need to do that. So I'll probably get an error. Of course I got an error because it says resin tank status. So we'll let it finish. But I got past the, it is good to go with the LCD screen. It wants to go ahead and calibrate, even though it doesn't know that there's no tank in there. It's still calibrating. Yeah. So I'm just going to shut that off and get back up there. Make sure everything. So yeah, gotta make sure that these pins are clear here. I like that little sound when it swoops down. Screw those in. Not too tight. Let's see. Let's go with some white. I should have gloves on for all this mess, a mask and all that stuff, but you know. But after 5 hours of working on this thing, I'm about ready to be done. So, I do have these are silicone mats. just helps keep the area a little bit clean. I need big giant silicone mats, but anyways, make sure you shake up your resin really well. This is Elegoo Standard 2.0 white. This one had been opened, so which I got. The only thing I don't like about, not the only thing, but one of the things I don't like about this is even though I've poured all this in and it's not up to that minimum line, when it goes through and does its check, and then it shows me that then it's plenty full. So I just kind of hate that. So let's go ahead, try one more time. If not, I might have dumped some more white in there. And I don't have a file ready to go. It's just a test here. See if it recognizes everything. I got 2 screws left. Yeah, well. We'll save those. I might find them the next time I go having to put this thing together. Okay, here's another screw. Alright, 3 screws. We don't need them. Yay! So, guys, I know this has been long and tedious, but I'm so happy. So, thank you for sticking with me. And we did it. We placed the Saturn 4 Ultra 16K mono LCD panel. Yeah, that was a tough one, but we did it. So, yay!